16 minutes after 6 o'clock. It's Monday. Guess what? You're alive and well. Good morning to you.
Yes.
January basically done. I think it's the fastest January on record.
Yep. I was saying this to Jermaine this morning.
Yeah.
Like January is normally January long, but I don't know. It's the 20th.
It's a go.
Yeah, actually today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day.
Yeah.
In the United States. So big up to everybody watching.
Yeah.
A lot of persons not going to work today. So Martin Luther King, I had a dream, and a lot of us are living through that dream right now.
Absolutely.
And also today, incidentally, is the day that Donald Trump will be sworn in today. Yeah.
Look at that.
TikTok get banned for about quarter day.
Yeah.
And Donald just said, boop, bop.
Boop.
Bring it in back.
You got to free me.
So Donald just steal back him thing again, you see it?
Man.
I'm telling you.
Man. You know who always sees the thing? Your girl, Tony K. She's your morning shot of Red Bull. Good morning. Hi.
Tony's like, what? Who's that? Me?
I'm like, wait, what?
Where? Me?
She gets us going.
I'm here giving you wings, you know?
Yes.
Good
Absolutely.
morning. Hey, let me just tell you real quick before we get jumping into things. There was a big discussion in the makeup room how your hair is fabulous.
Oh,
everybody loves your hair.
Oh, thank you. It's Tanisha. 10
Beauty Palace?
Yes.
That's how you put up a story, and I'm like, yep, I knew it was
Oh, yeah, thank you, my love. Thank you for your kind compliment. And a lot of people were complimenting me and asking me. I'm like, 10's Beauty Palace, just go online. Because, you know, the whole Empress vibe, Queen vibe, that's what we wanted to do.
I was like, yeah,
thank you so much. But thank you for all the compliments. I sincerely appreciate it.
Man,
Thanks. And because 10 out of 10 all the time.
Out of 10.
So just call her and go get it. It's fine. She's ready. She's waiting.
All right, let's jump into the headlines. Marcus Garvey's historic posthumous pardon. So, United States President Joe Biden has issued a posthumous pardon for Jamaica's first national hero, Marcus Mosiah Garvey, nearly 102 years after his 1923 conviction for mail fraud, a case long criticized for its racial and political overtones. The decision from the outgoing Democratic leader follows sustained advocacy from several U.S. lawmakers, legislators, including Democratic Congresswoman Yvette D. Clarke, who chairs the Congressional Black Caucus. The historic decision announced on Sunday has been hailed as a step toward justice and a powerful acknowledgement of Garvey's enduring legacy. Garvey, founder of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the UNIA, and the Black Star Line, was imprisoned in 1925 under the administration of President Calvin Coolidge. His 5-year sentence became a symbol of systemic racial injustice, but his vision of economic and social upliftment for Black people inspired millions across 40 countries. Iconic figures such as Martin Luther King Jr. and Nelson Mandela credited Garvey's work as foundational to the modern civil rights movement.
I think it's a big deal.
Yeah.
And I think people should know that for many years, successive U.S. presidents have been lobbied.
Yes.
And they have ignored said lobby, and they've come in and out of office and not done it.
Yes.
So kudos to
Joe Biden.
President Joe Biden, who has finally done it.
A lot of people are thinking that Barack Obama would have done it,
yes,
but it didn't get done.
It didn't get
done.
And
so I'm very, very happy. When I saw it, it really warmed my heart.
Yes.
I said, what are we, Joe Biden? I got on history. You see what you have to look yourself, Joe? I like it for you.
Maybe it's Kamala, you know, Kamala about Jamaican. I don't know, but it will always be on the record of Joe Biden, Joseph Rouvenay Biden, that he is the one who did it. And I think it is so important.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the history and the significance of it, and I'd love to hear from people like
Stephen Golding,
as the president of the Marcus Garvey movement in Jamaica, a strong advocate for it. He can give you, in terms of the etymology of it, where all of this is coming from.
And what does it mean, and the significance, you know, because it's a big deal. And especially being on the cusp of Black History Month, this kind of thing is, you know, studying Marcus Garvey, I don't think we understand or appreciate fully how iconic he was, or he is. Yo, remember, you know, Dennis, back then, TK, we had no social media.
I was about to say there was no internet.
Internet,
and
right?
he founded
my goodness.
global movement.
Yeah.
He founded a global movement without the internet.
Which impacted men like Nelson Mandela, world leader, Martin Luther King Jr., world leader,
You have to be really
Malcolm
good.
X.
You have to be really good.
And remember, he come from Jamaica. So it's not even like he was born over there to have had that reach.
But having that impact on the black community, and so the teachings and ideology of Marcus Garvey, in terms of putting it on paper, and even he, as a publication, in terms of black entrepreneurship, this whole concept of black excellence is a Garvey concept, but not just that. Garvey as a Pan-Africanist and the notion of Pan-Africanism and Garveyism is absolutely relevant.
Yes.
And kudos, I mean, even this morning, I think that, you know, a lot of the students in Upper Sixth studying Caribbean studies, it's an important topic for them. Good morning to all the students and teachers of Caribbean studies. I'm encouraging that conversation this week, so that you can discuss why this means something in terms of our Caribbean identity, but not just our Caribbean identity, a global black identity, and this notion of the black nation.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Yes, sir.
Devil's advocate, you know, you go. So if we as a nation acknowledge Marcus Garvey, his importance, his reach, you know, his impact on the world, why is it important for another nation to say, okay, we had, you know, done this years ago, but now we pardon him, so it's now a big deal for us. Why don't we say, oh, no, could I lock him up and
No.
We respected him from a long time.
Because they were the ones who imprisoned him, and as you read earlier, under systemic racism, so it was a matter of, it's like a trump-up charging. Right? So you wrongfully incarcerated this man. You have
Gave
this
him a
blot,
criminal record.
gave him a criminal record, a blot against him and his legacy, and we need it removed. We need it expunged, right? It needs to come off because the man never do it. And you know never do it. I want to trump up one charge and put
But those are the things that you used to do to black people who were becoming too influential. And you created this notion that he was a criminal, that he was a thief, that he was, you know.
So you don't want that on your legacy. I want it removed. And since you were the ones who propagated this charge and put it there,
it is for you to do it.
It's for you to
right
remove it. You know what I mean?
Kudos to Edward Seaga, who in his time in office, he, you know, was very instrumental in pushing for that. Also, remember, initially Marcus Garvey's body was not buried in Jamaica. It was brought here. It was exhumed and brought to Jamaica to be placed in National Heroes Park, and here he now rests. But this is a person who, in terms of his global reach and his global movement, he had to leave the U.S. You know,
go to England.
You know, because he still had that purpose in him that was not finished. And I'm glad that he was able to do the things that he was able to do in spite of the accusations that were against him. You know, a lot of people say, oh, the whole Black Star Line thing. I mean, imagine if he wasn't vilified in the way that he was, how much more successful he could have been for black people.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So so it's very significant and very important.
Very significant.
And that they did that. And this is a big deal.
And you guys are right. I'm hoping that we can get some more discussion going right here so that we can have a better understanding for everyone.
I'm sure the movement
they're
in
excited
Jamaica
this morning.
is going to, you know, stage certain forums so that the conversation can continue.
Yes.
Nice. All right. Well, next up, KSAMC cracks down on illegal garage operators. Sidewalks in Kingston and St. Andrew have become battlegrounds. In the fight to restore order, authorities warn if individuals continuously use these walkways for reasons outside of their main purposes, they will face legal consequences. City Inspector Alric Francis issued a stern warning on Friday. The initiative seeks to remove derelict vehicles and illegal garages, clogging streets and sidewalks. Francis highlighted the dangers posed by derelict vehicles, some of which have reportedly been used by criminals. He insists these enforcement activities will continue weekly as the KSAMC intensifies efforts to make Kingston and St. Andrew safer and cleaner for all.
Yeah, well, I agree with that.
Definitely.
And big ups to the mayor, you know, His Worship Andrew Swaby, and, you know, the entire KSMC, because a lot of these garages that are not licensed to be there, they pose a lot of problems. It's a haven for rodents and all different kinds of things for all kinds of criminal activity, as well as it brings down the property value
of
those
surrounding
persons,
properties.
surrounding properties. TK.
There are several challenges, and this is
and also it's an eyesore.
Yeah, there are conversations that we've had over the years. I remember when Angela Brown Burke was mayor, there was a drive to take a decisive action. Desmond McKenzie, I remember when he was mayor as well, and it is important for a multiplicity of reasons. I've been on record talking about this elsewhere. That, for instance, when you have a garage, especially in communities that are not designed for it, garages naturally produce industrial waste.
Yes.
And oil seeping into the soil. It has
chemicals.
An impact. When you have a body man, a Duco man, we call him, a spray right next door to a basic school. How is that healthy?
Or
how is that
there's a baby or somebody who has asthma or other respiratory issues. So we cannot just be and
nuisance, all of these strange. Don't dismiss it. Fight a man.
Fight a man food.
That we need to have cities and towns that are organized at the municipal level to have particular purposes for where they are. And so you have economic activity of a certain nature so that you can have clean up in a particular way and you manage these things. And then, because you go in some communities and you just see beer old car along the road and you're like, one mechanic shop then nearby.
And also then when you have these old cars too, you park it in front of my gate or you're hindering me from going into my property and then you can't talk because you're bad and you're big and bad. And listen, I'm all for this. I like it to clean up the place. As Dennis said, in terms of the noise nuisance, in terms of the chemical, we have to think about our neighbor as well. And if you're not authorized to be there, you ought to go and find somewhere proper to do your business.
Everybody want to hustle and everybody want to eat a food, but people want to live. People want to live.
And when people buy their property, I'm paying my money meter to live good. I don't want to step in oil or drive in oil to go in my house. I don't want it.
Yeah, but when you call the police, a problem,
Yeah. Problem. We know that story. Yeah.
You notice in the cleanup, you notice the police had to be there with them.
Yes.
Because imagine if they weren't. Imagine they were. They couldn't do that enforcement without police presence, which means that there are implications for their security. Because where I try to. You understand? You ever think about that?
And it's very sad, Dennis, because a lot of persons think about feed them food, but you don't think about how getting your food is affecting everybody else. You know what I mean? You can't be selfish. Cannot be selfish at all. So I'm all for that. So clean up time, guys. Let's get it right once and for all. Well, thank you, Lady TK. After the break, we are bridging the culture. We're bridging culture and building communities in Diaspora Link Up. So please do stay with us right here on Sunrise.